I'm Danny Doyle, and I'm completing my Master's in Conservation at Queen's University in Kingston. And I'm going to speak on the conservation and degradation of historic scrapbooks. Scrapbooks were mostly used in the 19th and 20th century, being a great phenomenon then. And because of their main materials, their mixed media made of photos, newspapers, and physical objects, that these cause many inherent problems. The mixed media that make up scrapbooks can be a very varied composition, including photos and newspaper clippings, physical objects, even hair, metals, cigars, things such as this. These scrapbooks themselves can also be of poor quality, such as acidic materials, and these together can cause some very bad problems. There are three main methods in the deterioration of historic scrapbooks. The first being the inherent vice of the material, which is when things deteriorate simply because of what they're made out of. Improper storage, which includes the environment, such as temperature or humidity, and improper use or handling of the scrapbooks. The contents of scrapbooks are unique, but many share similar concerns. The pages of which they're made may be of poor quality paper, leading to yellowing and eventual embrittlement. The original binding may become strained from being overfilled and thus fail. Plastics in more modern scrapbooks are often unstable and over time will yellow, brittle, and exude sticky plasticizers onto the surface. Unstable adhesive tapes will also yellow and fail, often causing the items that they attach to become lost. Metal attachments, such as staples or paper clips, will rust and stain the surrounding paper. Being for the most part made of paper, scrapbooks tend to be highly affected by temperature and humidity. This makes them swell and contract, and this wouldn't be such a problem if they were all composed of the same material, as things would swell and contract at the same rates. However, being made of mixed media, we tend to find varied rates of swelling and contraction, which leads to warping of materials, adhesive failure, and loss. Hot and moist environments tend to be the worst for the storage of scrapbooks, leading to mold growth. As such, attics, which tend to be quite hot in the summers, are not appropriate, and basements tend to be too damp. The warm environment speeds up the chemical reactions within the paper, which causes yellowing and physical damage such as embrittlement. Cool and dry storage environments are the best, as these slow the chemical reactions and discourage the mold growth. Air circulation is also quite important for storage areas. Food and drink obviously can permanently stain collections. They can also attract pests, and as such should be kept out of all storage and handling environments. So as a general guideline for the storing of scrapbooks and albums, temperature should be less than 20 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity should be between 40 and 50%. This should be no higher than 60%, as this would lead to mold growth. And for humidity, fluctuations are by far the worst. There should be little or no ultraviolet exposure. This would come from both natural and fluorescent lighting. And direct visible lighting should be kept to a minimum. For the storage of scrapbooks, small and medium-sized scrapbooks can be stored upright with others of similar size. However, many scrapbooks are oversized and heavy, and these are best stored flat. Often they're filled to bulging, putting strain onto their bindings, and as such they shouldn't be stacked. Flat storage also protects loosely attached items and pages inside of the scrapbook. Many scrapbooks suffer from acid migration. This is where the acids from one page stain the facing page, causing a ghostly image. This can be alleviated by using a sheet of acid-free tissue. And placing it between the affected pages. Acid-free tissue and not buffered should be used, as buffered can affect photographs. For books that are already bulging, placing strain on their bindings, this should only be placed between the worst affected pages. Taking apart scrapbooks has many physical and ethical problems, and in many instances, leaving the book alone and storing it in an acid-free box is best. The box will buffer any changes in relative humidity, as well as temperature, and exclude light. It will also keep items together that may have come loose. However, if this isn't possible, scrapbooks may be tied closed with unbleached cotton twill. This will keep items together, but it won't provide any environmental buffering effects. Because some items may be loose inside scrapbooks, it's important to carry them flat and supported. Clean hands or gloves will prevent oils in the hands from damaging photographs or the papers and items inside scrapbooks. Many of items are fixed with adhesive tape, and this can, over time, yellow, fall off, leave behind sticky residues, and the associated items which were originally taped on will then fall out. Any such loose items should be put into an acid-free envelope and stored with the scrapbook. This will prevent loss of the artifact. It's best to seek advice on even minor treatments from a trained professional conservator. Reattaching items while seeming like a simple treatment, if not done to conservation standards, can be extremely damaging over time. The best method for preventing damage to artifacts is to limit their use. If their use is not suitable due to the value of the scrapbook, their condition, or security concerns, can loose items be taken out of the scrapbooks? The pages can be digitally photographed. This allows access to the scrapbook without having to undergo the physical stress of use. Scrapbooks and albums are found in large numbers in the collections of museums and archives, libraries, and historical societies. Though often made of poor quality materials, through proper storage and handling, and the use of duplicates such as photocopies or digital photographs, it's possible to extend their lifespans while maintaining access to the information that they contain.